Hello and welcome back to Backmarkers F1, where we finally decide to finish the FIA Formula 3, whatever the fuck that series was, championship, just about 1 year too late. As usual, I'm joined by Matthew Ruda.
Hey guys, what's up?
And our spooky guest special Squid, wait. No, that's right. Hi Squid!
Hi, I'm back.
God help us.
So, this is round 8 out of 8. Surprise, surprise. We're at Macau, where everybody's gonna die. 40 minutes plus 1 lap, as per usual, on this just over 6 km long track, half of which is a death trap.
Pretty much, and as you can see, the race did take place August 6th, 2017, so we almost made it a full year. But yeah, Macau is an amazing circuit. Sadly, no Formula 1 here because it would actually, well, be an interesting F1 race probably, because lots of overtaking room on the 4 straights you see, and then you've got to just hold on, clench your sphincter, and hope you don't go into a wall. Pretty much.
Yeah, it is an interesting balance regarding setups as well, because you can see half of the track is nothing but a straight with a 90-degree turns. 90-degree turn, I should say, separating it, because the rest of it is basically flat out unless you're going side by side, and if you're going side by side, you're a fucking madman. And then you have half of a track which is narrow, 1.5 lane street. We'll continue that in a minute, but first of all, starting grid, Mr. Bonchek is on pole. Alongside is the Holy Moose, surprise surprise, Gunst and Spooky Squid on row 2. Mr. Bob and Trampel on row 3, behind them Smart Pipe and yours truly. Matt and the other Matt are rounding out our top 10 in this qualifying.
I'll be honest, it's been so long I forgot I took part in this race, but now that I'm thinking about it, the memories are coming back, and I know what happened to me. As we go to the latter end of the grid, Neon Tiger in 11 starting in front of Rotor X2, with Psychedelics and Nemetis behind him making up row, what would that be, 7? Yeah.
7.
Yep. And then we have Hyperion and Powers 2440, followed by the Odes Baguette car of Echo 51.
So this is one of the rare races where Squid decided to actually find his pace, eh?
Yeah,
it is. I'm generally a pretty midfield driver, but if there's one thing that I can do, it's street tracks. So I was always pushing for Macau to be in it. I was pushing for Paul. I was pushing for pretty much any street tracks because I love them and I can actually drive relatively quick on them.
That's interesting, because most of the times the street tracks are, well, even the best drivers had problems with them, so it's kind of interesting to hear. I mean, what is it about it? Is it just you're good with being surrounded by walls and you just use all your tentacles to work around?
I think what it is mainly is that I enjoy driving them, and so I can get more out of practicing. I actually enjoy doing hot laps, and so I practice more, and I actually can get the track figured out more.
That makes sense.
And if we go back to what you were talking about before with the setup, I think the only way really to set up your car for a track like this is to go for top speed, because even if you're fast in the twisty sections, you have no way of overtaking.
Yeah, it's not as aerodominant as F1 is, so you can stay pretty close to the car in front of you and then just bang, go on the straight.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, it also has to somewhat turn, because if you're in the wall after the first lap, it doesn't matter much how fast you are in the rest of the track.
True, but I mean, how many of these corners are aero dependent? I'd probably say a third of them, as we have lights already. 4, 5, 6. If I can count. I'm an engineer, yay! And we are waiting. Go as we get a good start.
Whoa!
What the fuck?
There are cars in the wall already. We did not even reach turn 1. Guys, at least wait for the twisted section to rank. Jesus Christ, we already lost a couple of people.
That was the most Macau start I think I've ever seen. Oh god.
With that stuff,
I forgot Maestro's livery and what's on it. I'm remembering.
Yeah, we're going side by side into the first proper turn. We're going 3 wide, 2 deep. Jesus Christ, what are you doing, people? We're going into turn 3. Oh, somebody in the wall over there. And many people will switch in positions. I think there's been a lot of wreckage behind, because I see people I haven't seen in this particular order as we approach that turn. I guess we'll see what happened soon enough. Yeah, stuff happened.
Yeah, just the scoreboard is going crazy as well.
It was a calamity for sure. And all that from 10th to 4th is me. It's not gonna last long, but it felt good while it was there.
Spoilers, Jesus. Only a year has passed.
And on the contrary, I've moved from 4th to 13th.
What about flipping positions?
Looks like the only person who kept his position is Maestro in the lead over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hello. That would be. Looks like Matt
that
puts in
doesn't
his
look
car
good,
in the
whatever
wall.
that is.
And that's.
Whatever's happening behind that branch.
Oh! And there's Viperion in the wall.
That can't be good.
That'll be both Matt and Viperion facing the wall. As we're heading for replays, this replay from Maestro's point of view, right at the start, going wide, closing all possible overtaking opportunities at the start. Nice takeoff from Russian. Obviously, everybody and their mother behind him had a draft going on it from this point forward, so there was no way he wasn't going side by side. But everybody kept it pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the Russian homoerotic livery, but I really am interested in what happened further behind. Whatever the hell that was at the start, as it seems like Maestro's trying to defend there from a bit of a dive bomb on the outside, but yeah, good luck getting that done here, because then you get pinched into this section, and yeah, come on.
Pretty well.
And this is the start of what happened back there. Oh!
Yeah.
Excuse me, was that you, Squid? And
so
this
I can
is
explain what happened here.
So this is
Hang on, let's see this for a second.
what the fuck?
I had some very big computer issues, and as soon as the lights went out, my screen froze, and I couldn't see anything. And then when it unfroze, I was just facing the wrong way, and I had no idea what happened.
Oh gee, oh, Psychedelics, I think it's him, got caught as well in that, just mildly clipping one of the Bentley cars. They got into this. Oh, wow, okay.
Whoa! That was some sexy maneuvering there.
That's accident avoidance 101, but that was a bit of a clusterfuck at the getaway, and this is what happened later. This is what I could only assume is Moose.
Couldn't be anyone else.
Slightly missing the turn, but this is what happened behind. This is my onboard. Oh, Jesus.
God, Neon. Not knowing where the brakes are.
That was Smart Pipe, actually.
I thought that was Neon.
That was Smart Pipe, and that's me facing the wrong way, having to turn around to the streets of Macau. Never a good idea.
Using the wall to help complete the 3 points.
There is Smart Pipe, nowhere near the braking zone. Oh!
Shit?
He actually,
quick reactions.
he actually found the wall at the end of that escape road. That's actually impressive. That would be Viperion missing the turn as well.
Yep. As a reminder, damage was on during this series, and so this is all. There's only 25%, I think, if I remember correctly, but still.
And that's Spike joining Viperion over there.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody escaped unscathed from the first couple of turns, and this we see the famous hairpin, which only has.
I never remember successfully completing it, so that's news to me that I actually did it right.
Yeah, it has exactly one line through it with a lot of bumps, so if you fuck up at any point by just a millimeter, as highlighted by me, you're not gonna go anywhere.
And just a side note, if I recall correctly, I don't think Piker was in this race. I think someone else got put in his car.
Okay, that is possible. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Somebody smacked the wall as well, as I see me and Squid fighting for position behind Smart Pipe and Mr. Bob duking it out. I guess it was Mr. Bob who put it in the wall there.
The one nice thing I will say though about the hairpin is when you do fuck up, you get to like keep your position.
Yeah, because there's physically impossible to overtake a car that takes up the entire hairpin. Yeah, I guess here we see the replay of how things can go wrong. The hairpin just a little bit too wide, and yeah, That's a traffic jam, alright. And I
then get bumped.
can feel a gentle bump from behind. That'll be Treadbell on the exit over toe!
Ow.
Oh. Okay. So he just did his Habsburg over there.
Yep. Pretty much.
Mildly clipped the turn at the exit. Oh, Jesus! The move
So this
behind
is the
by
problem with
Sparkle.
overtaking out onto the start-finish line is you get like a million miles straight after that, so you can get repassed very easily.
Yeah. You kind of got to get in front and get it done and hope that the other guy runs out of gear.
Yeah.
Or the alternative is just wait and sitting back until the middle part. It's like you have to actually wait before overtaking on a straight and timing it to perfection to avoid the retake.
Yeah, we just saw Goonsis there touching the wall a little bit. I remember when we were practicing for this race, I gave this track a spin in the Lotus 76. Or 78 rather. That was a fucking ride and a half.
How many walls did you collect?
I managed to get a clean lap in after an hour of practice. And I mean, by clean, I mean like I was still clenching every time the turbo kicked in.
And this is that was Rotor X2 up in 5th.
Wow, that was
seems to have
actually a
been-
pretty impressive overtake.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. But Rotor is definitely another one of the drivers that made it through the first calamity cleanly and gained quite a lot from it.
And definitely, even after he's been overtaken by Treadbell, he still finds himself in 6th position, with just Neon behind in the immediate vicinity. We are spectating the battle, trying to figure out where it is. It'll be Echo.
Yeah, Economidas and me.
Madison's good, so it looks like Echo has been put in one of the MRT cars for this race. And we see there's a big clusterfuck happening behind Echo here. Oh!
Oh!
That's been a touch! Inappropriate touch!
Somebody call Human Child Services, or whatever they're called, what is it? Child Protective Services, there we go. Oh, God.
First try.
Yeah, that's what they said. And
Oh!
we see a draft. We see a draft train forming, and yeah, like you said, it's pass and repass. Like I'm assuming that we're going to see some side-by-side action going into the first, actual corner.
There is side-by-side for 9th place between me and Echo over there. Squid is as good as gone, though I'm gaining 2 positions on that straight alone, trying to keep up with the fast Swede. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle out of a turn.
Yep. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars being quite close to each other. It's basically all the way from 8th to what would be 13th all together.
Smart Pipe is sick of his shit.
Oh! Here we go. That's Echo facing the wall and now resetting to pit lane, and the other one was Mr. Bob who clipped him on the outside. Not enough patience here. It's very difficult to stay put.
Oopsie.
Okay, this race is officially going off the rails.
Yep.
Oh!
See now. Is there a touch there?
There might have been. Musa's being
remember.
impatient behind Matt, who's currently in 3rd, creating a little bit of a traffic jam, a little bit of a touch. You almost made it clean here.
Almost. Yep. And if there's one thing I can do, it's defend like a motherfucker.
Whoa!
What are you doing?
I somehow kept the position.
As far as I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of the way!
Smart Pipe would love to get that position, but there's 0 space to overtake. Meanwhile, Maestro set the fastest lap at 2:21.
The one Bakmakar always touches me, and the other one fucking blocks me. Yeah, Smart Pipe and I definitely had our moments of touching one another during this series.
Well, the benefit of having such a huge calamity on lap 1 is the fact that the field gets so mixed up. So you get people like, well, in this case, me and Georgian are somewhat faster and trying to make our way up the field, along with like Mr. Bob. and it makes for good racing at least, which isn't given on a track like this.
Well, good.
It's us, so well.
A nice battle between Matt and Moose over there, overtaking and taking the position back into turn 3, as we continue with Smart Pipe attempting an overtake on me here. Quite a bit of an overlap, so unless he misses the turn again, that's his position right there. Yep, it is. He's up to 9th position, and Trempel is resetting the pits now, so everybody is moving up.
I think this is Powers in Piker's car.
Ooh.
Did Powers have his own 90? I think he was in his own 98 vehicle.
He might have been.
What the?
I don't know. It's someone. It's not Piker.
It definitely is someone. We have to figure out who has stolen Piker's car for this race.
It's like, have you ever seen that really shitty Stallone movie, Driven?
No.
No.
Oh, count yourselves lucky. So you won't get the reference, but count yourselves lucky. That movie sucks.
So this is...
Saved by Bob.
Yeah, this is what happened. This is when Bob tagged Echo. And this is... Oh, this is a big traffic jam! This is...
that jam from behind there. Oh.
And this is another hit from somebody who's clearly not Piker.
We could just blame Piker. Just
Blame Piker. And it looks
Everyone
like another
else
one.
did at some point during the series.
Oh, that's a Kraken.
Stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a car lodged in the wall between the protective barriers. And there's Trempel who also reset. Oh!
Whoa.
What the fuck?
How did he do that? He cuts it with his rear.
I don't know.
And there's no other way for that accident to happen.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
no.
Oh! What is going on?
Backwards of one door.
That is like 6 cars being in one crash. What the fuck?
That's an F3 attack.
That is worse than F3.
No, I said it's an F3 Bukaki, not F3.
Oh, there's another car in the wall. That's
No.
Neon. No, that's Smart Pipe. Never mind.
It's Smart Pipe.
And through all of this, we've only had 9 minutes of racing.
It's Smart Pipe driving like Neon.
Wait, what is...
that was... Oops.
Oh, that's Matt in the wall. That's Matt facing the wrong way and resetting to pits. Jesus. Oh, good God. We are quarter of a way in, and I've seen more crashing than in the entire season of NASCAR.
That first crash there, if I recall right, really triggered me because it was a hard rule. You had to reset to pits if that happened. But I knew I could flick spin it if I just drove up the runoff to the hairpin.
Yeah, spoiler
So I
alert,
decided-
I never cared about this rule.
I don't think anyone did, other than you.
Well, which I realized afterwards, which triggered me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe Powers, because he's 4 laps back at this point in time.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think it's actually Powers. Yeah, it's Powers in Piker's car.
It has to be.
Well, there's only one car who's been in so many accidents at this point.
But let's keep blaming Piker.
Yes, sure. So this is a battle for P6. We have 3.5 horse races. Yeah, there is the 4th one. No, that's actually the 5th. What am I talking about? Never mind. Don't mind me. So that'd be...
I never do.
That would be Rotor being a bit of a cork in the bottle right here as we head onto the straight. Let's see, side by side into turn 3, a bit of an easy overtake and a bit of a slow getaway from Rotor, and Smart Pipe is trying to capitalize on the inside. A little bit too slidey, both cars a bit slow, and Mr. Bob is forced to look at the gearbox of 2 cars who are not going anywhere. Smart Pipe is still side by side with Bob, and he takes him around the outside. Nice move by the Irishman.
Really, really good car control there. Very easy on the bumps to lose it. We saw that a lot in practice, people flying everywhere. As I continue to lose positions from 3rd to 14th, now 15th. I don't know if this is the point where I did a thing, so we'll wait. It pops up on the screen. But yeah, 1 lap down now. not a good race for me. It seems like normal service resumed. Holy Moose up to we have a spin back there.
Somebody's sideways.
That's not Smart Pipe, no.
I'm gonna say Neon as he lost position to Squid over there.
Yes, Smart
It was
Pipe is
red,
still
though.
here.
Is it Neon in a green car?
Neon is in a red car. He's Smart Pipe's teammate. Red and black.
Oh, wow. Okay. Then what am I thinking of Smart Pipe and Neon being together? Oh wait, you said Neon. You did say Neon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I thought Viperion. I'm thinking of Viperion instead of Neon.
Did Rotor just stop?
Yeah, what? I don't know what happened there.
Oh, that's a hard crash. No.
Jumped in the air, basically.
Oh, and exactly the same over the crest. If you take too much air, you can't steer in the air, so that's basically impossible to do anything about it. And this is how to complete hairpin if you're stuck. Just pretend nothing happened. Oh, and that would be Neon, I would guess. Getting in the wall there. And here's Roger, and he is DNF from P6. What happened there? He just parked the car.
Maybe spun and damaged it, and then decided enough was enough. Not sure.
He didn't spin it really. As we see the time comparison between Maestro and Gunsis. For the last 3 laps, on lap 3 Maestro was faster, but for the last couple of laps, Gunsis has been catching him for half a second, 1.5 seconds per lap, and now he's within a second. So expect racing for the win.
Gwyd is setting fastest times too. He's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants to take the fight up to Moose.
Yeah,
Interestingly enough, though, the top 4 is now back to what it was on the grid.
Yeah.
It is, but now there's like half a minute between first and fourth.
Yeah.
You can see that for the lead, it's Maestro and Gunsis, then an eternity to Moose, an eternity to Squid, and then the rest of the grid, at least to 10th place, is kind of backed up. Just a few cars running away with it. We see Echo and Matt now being a lap down, so we have 11 cars in the lead lap at this point. Still better than Formula 1.
So we go to the teammate battle for 6 between Neon Tiger and Smart Pipe. I do like these guys' skins, or like these whatever. It's a year ago.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lovely skin. I think it was based on something. I'm not quite sure. I don't recognize it from a get-go, but I remember Neon was saying something about it. A Smart Pipe is digging the wall over there, and there's Mr. Bob behind them, ready to take 2 positions from the guys while they're busy battling amongst each other.
Yeah, at some point one of them's gonna crash. So.
And I see that Rotor has now rejoined, so there might have been some technical difficulties there.
Possible. He rejoins. Looks like he rejoins still in front of Viperion, so even with some sort of a technical issue, he's in 15th out of 17. Powers is back in the pits. He was 4 laps down last time we checked. He's on the pit lane once again.
And a good race for Powers. Although after some initial fighting down further in the lower midfield, it seems like you, Georgian, are up to 5th, which is pretty impressive.
That would be true. Losing quite a bit of time to Squid, who is in hot pursuit of his long-lost sister. But slowly building the gap on this trio, who is too busy fighting amongst themselves at this point.
Whoa! Bit of an abrupt move there, as Smart Pipe now overtakes Neon. Wonder if there were any team orders going in there. I doubt it, but you never know. And so for now, it looks like Mr. Bob is just relegated to just watching from behind.
We still have a straight. Neon was stuck in behind. Smart Pipe looking for a little bit of a draft. Is he gonna go? No, he thinks.
That's Neon behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Oh! This is Turkey 2010 all over again, except not for the win. As
Mr. Bob
Maestro,
saw Neon Tiger just put Smart Pipe out of the way and be like, oh, I feel bad for them, I'll do the same thing.
Maestro had a little bit of a trouble lapping Rotrix 2 for the second time, lost about half a second. Gunsis is now able.
Whoa.
Oh, Gunsis was able to see the details of his rear diffuser and until he almost lost it out of a hairpin. The hairpin is a first gear corner, so if you're too rough on the accelerator after it, the car will spin.
Yeah, he got blinded by the details of Maestro's diffuser. As we see the battle now going on between Mr. Bob and Neon. Neon looks like he's a little bit out of shape after that incident, trying to get back into a rhythm. Mr. Bob trying to capitalize, while Smart Pipe just kind of like, see you later, cruises away.
Neon here is quite a fast driver, but he's struggling to keep it mistake-free, which hurts him in the long run. He has the pace.
Yep. As we can see, this is the point where I retired from the race.
Yep, we wave goodbye to an American for unknown reasons of rage quit.
Pretty much. I fucked up again and was pissed at myself and left.
So we continue spectating the battle for 7th place. Mr. Bob is stuck behind Neon Tiger for the entire first part of the back straight. It looks like he's not planning to go for an overtake until they are through the kink. Wow, a little bit aggressive maneuver in there. Until they're through the kink, just so he can poke out, get the position, and avoid the draft snake back by Neon. There's his chance. He's looking, he's moving, he's on the inside. They still have a few hundred meters to go. Before the turn, he is well clear. Is he able to stop the car in time? Yes, just, and he got the position. Mr. Bob, up to P7.
He lost about 5 seconds of Smart Pipe just from that one lap being stuck behind Neon Tiger. So the margins on this track, like time-wise, are huge.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to hook up. Ooh, as we see a bit of a moment there. It's hard to hook up a perfect lap anyway, and so I mean just from lap to lap, you're not going to see like millisecond consistency as you might on some other tracks. But ooh, there's Georgian tanks the wall there a little bit. But it got away with it as now Smart Pipe is all up his ass. Gonna be fighting it out pretty soon. But up front, it's pretty much as you were. Very much like another race we saw recently. Maestro Goons is Holy Moose. Then we have Squid and Georgian. As we're gonna see him tagging the wall here. Or is that me?
That was rough.
Yeah. Oh. That's the Backmarkers crew, that's one of us. We have no idea who, because we both tagged that wall numerous times throughout the race. And that's the wall, and that looks like a Kraken, so I would assume that was you.
Yep, and that's where I quit.
And that's Powers being 4 laps down very early on the brakes and still spinning out. I don't think he had any help, so that's weird. He's back in the pit lane.
Ericsson hit him.
Yeah, he really went too fucking far. He should get a race ban or something.
Oh, there's Powers going. Powers is now marked as DNF as we have 2 people retiring from a race. Maestro breaking the 220 barrier, the first car to do so in the race, and now Gunz is almost 4 seconds back. It looks like Maestro turned on the afterburner and just left the Latvian in the dust.
Well, there can be a point to also opening up a gap intentionally to the car ahead, because especially going through the twisty sections, if you're right behind someone and they make a mistake, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, but 3 seconds? A bit too much.
It's a bit much, yeah.
And plus the fact that
whoa! Almost driving into the wall there.
And there's been no evidence of Maestro making any mistakes yet. I mean, Gunsis has made a few and been able to stick with him, but I don't think that Maestro is really going to be blowing anything. He still could, and 3 seconds I think would give him enough of a gap. But like George said, I think it's more along the lines of, well, Meister's just go found another gear. Hopefully not literally, because that would be cheating.
He is Russian, that is allowed. As Smart Pipe takes 5th place away from me as he continues. Looks like Neon Tiger was definitely the cock in the ball for his teammate, as Unleashed Smart Pipe is just incredibly fast, 14 seconds away from Squid, who is now another 15 back of Moose, so the gaps are slowly shrinking to the 3rd place, while the 3rd place is slowly losing the post-Soviet duo in the lead.
Yeah, I don't think really, unless one of them makes a massive mistake up front, I think the top 2 is pretty much set. Everything behind that's still up for play, up down to about, I'd say, maybe Trempale, unless there's a big fuck up. And even then, Squid and Moose are separated by quite a bit. So the sisterhood of the traveling tentacles is gonna take more effort to get them back together.
Well, speaking of effort to get cars back together, Smart Pipe is tagging the wall a little bit, slowing down as I'm wasting away the opportunity by doing a slight wiggle at the exit of a turn.
Oops.
So far, Smart Pipe is not pulling away exactly too fast after the overtake. Cars are still well within a second of each other. So we'll see. Maybe just driving in tandem will help both the cars close the gap. Oops. As we see Mr. Bob parked in a hairpin. Oh, what are you doing, Neon?
Trying to help.
That's interesting help. Both the cars got stuck in the hairpin for a bit. That helped. Who's that behind? That'd be Nemidas. Catching up to them, and it's gonna be a 3-horse battle for P7 now. Just over a minute behind the leader.
Let's see. Yeah, mistakes aside, still looks like everything's relatively compact.
Quite a few cars running very close to that wall on the left at the start-finish lights.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm noticing.
Neon is already past Mr. Bob, even before getting to the kink here.
That might be a mistake. Still a lot of time for Mr. Bob to tuck in behind, get a little bit of draft as he's shown right there, and maybe jump out and try to brake. No, he ain't even trying. He's slotting in behind Neon for the time being. So,
I mean,
yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, no. The nature of the track is going to cause... Like, honestly, I'm surprised that there are still pretty much a battle pack here in the middle with cars being this close, because the nature of the track is going to mean that the cars are going to get very spread out, especially now towards getting towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I thought there would have been more spread, but I think that just accidents from leading members of the pack just kind of keep everyone else bunched together with them. That's not the right way.
Speaking of errors, that would be Nemidas trying to turn his car around on the narrow streets of Macau. And we see another bunch of replays. That would be the Moose heading into turn 3, overshooting it by a country mile. Hello, wall.
Yeah, I think he didn't know the identity of his braking point.
God.
Wait, that's one way to
Oh!
take that. Oh, no.
Oh.
Here's where Mr.
So
Bob
good until
spun.
it wasn't. It was almost a drift around the hairpin.
It was nice, but the right rear clipped the wall a little bit, and here would be either Viperian or...
Oops, nope.
Where are you going?
I believe I can.
It's interesting, and that's what happened to Nemidas there. Tag the wall, turning around, and yeah, that's not a sight you want to see. You're facing the wrong way, and there is about a car width of space to turn around.
Yeah, definitely bad times all around. As the battle here still continues between Mr. Bob and Neon, pretty much as it was, waiting for one of the parties to make a mistake. Will it be Neon? Will it be Mr. Bob? A little bit of luck up there from Neon. Is he still going to be able to make the corner? Yes, so is Mr. Bob. And it's as you were.
It's interesting. I'm now 3 seconds behind SmartBike, but we already built a 13-second gap to this battle pack. And looks like SmartBike is still holding 14 seconds to Squid over there. What happened to Bob?
Overshot, it looked like.
Yeah.
Very, very wide. Looks like he kind of lost the side of his braking point being behind Neon over there. And that'll be me on the pit lane.
Why?
So, the story of it goes, we were warned before the race that if there's gonna be a calamity and somebody's gonna be parked, there's gonna be a red flag, and we might be parked on the pit lane. So, at the start of the race, I had exactly half the required fuel in my tank, actually betting on a safety car. That is exactly why I was able to make up quite a few positions. And actually, I think Matt had exactly the same thing going on. He just never lasted till the pit stop.
Well, it was a valiant thought.
Yeah, so I had to bet for refuel and a brand new set of tires. So after the even after the pit stop, I still have the advantage of a few cars ahead of me. I'm still just 15 seconds behind Neon, and now putting pressure on Psychedelic, still in top 10. So it's quite possible in the remaining 15 minutes plus a lap to get back to where I was. It's definitely going to be one hell of a ride.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good strategic call, I think. Banking on that, and I believe, did we not have an aborted race before this one?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
If I recall correctly.
Yeah, we did. Oh, cycle a little bit sideways there. And being stuck behind a car on all the tires that is squiggly is not what I need right about now. And there is an attempted overtake, which kind of works out. Psych didn't want to have to do anything with it and just put his car in the wall, trying to, you know, not get his car in the way. Still overtake on the city side of a circuit. Mr. Bob looking around the outside. That's never gonna happen. So that's me up to 9th place. And to get back where I was, it's the 16-second gap with, what, about 6 laps to go? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Ish.
So we'll see, it's gonna be interesting. Still 11 cars on the lead lap. The gap between 2 leaders seemed to have stabilized at 3.5 seconds. Looks like Squid is slowly cutting the gap to Moose. It's now, what, 21?
Something like that.
It was 25-ish. And 11 seconds between Squid and SmartBike. So SmartBike is firing on all cylinders, trying to catch up to top 4.
And he might catch Squid by the end of this, as you were saying. The gap between Squid and Moose is pretty constant, I'd say. And Moose is making no progress towards catching Goonses. As we see a bit of a moment there from
That's
Moose.
Moose and Roger. Roger is down 2 laps and he's getting in the way of Moose. That might actually help the other Swede right there, because he lost a couple of seconds, and that's another car. That'll be
Matt, I think.
either Matt, who's a lap down, or that's number 36. That's Matt. He is a lap ahead of Roger.
Rotor. So Matt
Roger is just
Rotor
getting
has
in
a
the
blue
way.
flag for Matt, and Matt has a blue flag for Moose.
For Moose. That is a clusterfuck, and that cost everyone time.
Look what I was just saying about 20 seconds. It's now down to 19. I thought that said 39. It's a whole second that he lost, guys.
Nobody noticed
Critical.
anything. 19.
so natural.
Oh yeah, but Moose did a 2:27.5. That's not a mistake-free lap. That's about 5 seconds slower than a clean lap for him.
Well, Maestro had just
something
gotten
like that.
220, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
Maestro
surprised
hit the
something like
fast lap at 220.6, so it's gonna be 7.5 behind the fast lap of a race. So I guess about 5 slower than expected for Moose at this point of the race.
that. Yep.
You see
That's
Echo.
a personal best.
Yeah, you see Echo down in 13th doing about the same time. So that's definitely not the pace for the top 3 at this point. So we'll see what happens.
Anything can happen, and usually does.
Speaking of pace for 13th place, there's Midas. Sorry. That is me back on my crusade to take back what I lost after the stop. Easy overtake complete, but now I'm gonna be subject to a lot of draft train behind me. Oh, what the shit?
I think he got a seizure looking at his own car.
It's the only explanation.
It's like
Oh.
the. Oh! No!
Oh!
Ow, wow, 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 wow.
Oh, the driver is now officially dead. That'll be one of the Bentley cars having a fucking seizure, and either Viperian or Roger getting caught up in this mess.
I think that was
Now-
Matt and Rotor again getting.
Yeah, it
Clustered.
has to be Matt, because the other car, Mr. Bob, is fighting against Neon still for 6th place, now completing the overtake. Is it a good eggery? He just eggs the wall but keeps his place. Mr. Bob is through to 6th place, but Smart Pipe is long gone, 22 seconds between them. So I don't think there's anything ahead of Mr. Bob now. Whoa! Giving those new tires a workout on lap 2.
Yeah, for sure. Get out of my way!
So let's see, the gap check Maestro just completed at 2:22.5 lap. Guns is half a second slower. This lap, Rotrix 2 is back in the pit lane meanwhile. Then another half a minute from
Oh, that's me.
Sister Moose, and that's Squid throwing away, well, most of the expectations to have a battle for the 3rd place, it looks like, with 9
Yeah.
minutes to go, putting it in the wall.
I was just about to say, I've been catching Moose so much, it's down to 16 seconds, and then nope, I'm in the wall.
So now it's back to 20 and then some. And the guy that this helped the most is Smartpipe, who's now just 10 seconds behind Squid. Get just over a second closer per minute, and he'll get there.
I now can do math, and the gap has close to 15 seconds, so 5 seconds gone from the 19-second gap, almost. It's now, it is 5 seconds, I believe. As we see 2:23.7 from Smart Pipe, we see a, ooh! He just got hooked on the hairpin.
We see
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics having an issue in the hairpin, and I think that's Trampel, that's his teammate losing it behind him. So that's a nice cooperation by Team Audi, not in the way you would like to see them. And that's Gunsis in the 2nd place being all kinds of wiggly. He's now 5 seconds back from Maestro. I think that just about seals the deal for the lead.
Yeah, that Audi performance reminded me of that year at Le Mans where they all crashed into things. As we have another spin, I think it's Viperian? Rotor, no, Rotor.
That'll be a Rotor who's now in pit lane again. He was 2 laps down at the time. Here's the other squid. Here's the other squid. Moose.
The other squid.
They look so look-alike. Here's the other Swede doing a bit of sliding with 7 minutes to go.
You can see now how the clips are just basically cars running alone on track, and that's because there are no battles anymore. As Matt
Matt
crashes
is
again.
humping the wall.
Not me, for the record.
Well, you did your fair share of wall humping at the start of a race.
I knew when to stop, though.
You were tired somewhere around this hairpin, so I imagine you're off the
Yeah.
track humping the wall or doing something.
I will neither confirm nor deny what activities were taking place near that wall. Drifting.
Nice.
That will depend entirely on if there is a bar next to that turn. There's a replay of Trampel losing it.
You can really see how these spins start coming in more and more often as the tires start going off now towards the end of the race.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, George is just like, la-ti-da-ti-da, my name's as fuck.
Oh, that was heavy. That was bad. Now Rotrix to his 3 laps down. Yeah, the old tires in race simulation and practice looked dead after half an hour of racing. So if you plant your foot a little bit harder than you should, the car just goes. This track is incredibly bumpy in a narrow section. You can't afford to be loose at all, because you're gonna meet Mr. Wall just right then and there.
Yep. Mr. Bob met Miss Wall, and that's how you got a weird wall car hybrid, baby.
What are you even on?
Tequila at the moment.
Why did I ask? Never mind. So, let's see.
Oh! Somebody else has been taking part in the whiskey. That's psychedelic spinning around.
That's an Audi. Yeah, either psychedelics or Trampel having fun doing 360s. I guess not caring at all.
It's a new person spinning every like 10 seconds.
That's what this race has been in a nutshell, just somebody spinning at any given point in time. But speaking of closest battles, here we see Neon, and there is a car behind. That would be me catching up rapidly. 5 minutes to go, and the gap is down to just 3 seconds.
Yep, well, so let's see. Could you recover the rest of your positions? Then you got a 12-second gap up to Mr. Bob, so unless there's an issue there, I don't think you're going to get that far.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you still could recover 7th. And we've seen everyone spinning, and so God knows. I mean, you could win the race for all we know.
Yeah, you were in 5th before you pitted, I think, if I recall
6th.
correctly. 6th. Yeah,
I
doubt you're gonna be able to catch up to Mr. Bob, but you should be able to get Neon, unless you crash.
Yeah, we'll see. We have about 3, maybe 4 laps to go in this race. 3 seconds between drivers for 7th place. That'll be the closest battle on track at this point in time.
After that, the next closest I would say would probably...
Oh! That's Midas ignoring the turn completely. And that'd be the news closest battle, because I believe there's gonna be Psychedelics like a couple of seconds behind him now. There's Moose and Rotor getting out of his way. Or Viperian, one of them. I would assume Rotor, because now he's 4 laps down, so I assume leaders are catching up and past them at this point.
Yeah.
And we're back. Oh, there goes Neon Tiger. Oh, everything goes wrong. And
at least you straightened him out before overtaking him.
Yeah. Oh, that's Moose. That's Moose for the 3rd place in the wall, trying to turn his car around, losing a lot of time. Where is Squid? 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. There is Squid, and there's just a few seconds between them now. We might actually have a battle for the podium. Squid was a little bit faster for the last few laps. And here's the comparison.
11 seconds.
11.8.
I guess that spin did affect it. On lap 13, Squid lost 1.5. On lap 14, he almost gained it all back. But then 12 seconds because of that spin out of the last turn for Moose. And the gap is down to what would be about 5 seconds. And speaking of gaps shrinking down, Gunsis is just 2.8 back from Maestro. He found another gear. And he might have trying a whole new way to take the hairpin by wall grinding.
We have another Audi spun around.
And
there is Audi penetrating the wall.
Oh!
That'll be Trampel, who just went a lap down on the leader. I wonder if Maestro had an issue with Trampel, which made him lose a couple seconds.
Maybe, but that gap's been pretty consistent, 3 to 4 seconds the entire time, so maybe a little bit, but nothing major. Let's see. Now it seems like 8th and 9th is a close battle, 6th and 7th is close. Smart Pipe's not too far, 18 seconds. That's one mistake, basically. And now we got some Squid on Moose action, maybe, if Moose makes another mistake, but we're only 2 minutes to go. You're pretty much going to get 2 more laps.
Oh, there's Moose!
There it is!
Commentator's curse.
There's Moose in the wall again, and there is Squid. There is a battle. There is Squid through into the third place. It looks like Moose's tires are just gone. He's spinning it everywhere. Oh, that's what happened to Trempale. Just lost it. I think the tires are just shot for everyone. And this is Moose. He actually clipped the apex a little bit too early.
Yeah, it just looks like everyone's driving on ice, except for you.
And that's Trempale again, locked him up a little bit, gassed it out of a turn and spun it. You can't do that on all tires, and that's Moose in the same turn. Way too hot. Looks like for Trempale it's dead tires, but for Moose it looks like pressure more than anything. Like both mistakes have been driver mistakes.
Yep.
We'll see what happens now. He is behind, but it doesn't look good. Oh!
Yep, no, it's hard to handle 8 points of pressure on you at the same time. And that's a Squid can provide. Or is that 10? Squid have 10 or 8 tentacles? I can't remember. I think it'd be 10 because octopus.
Yeah, that's gonna be 8. So 10. I'll say 10.
I'm gonna Google it while you commentate.
So the battle is still on though between the 8 to 10 armed creature and the well, what can only be described as a modern millennial Democrat.
It's about over 1 minute 10 seconds, which should mean that this is the second last lap, because I think Maestro is just gonna make it around to start another one before the clock runs out.
Maybe so. I don't know where he is really, to be honest. As we see now, Moose is going fast. However, with neither of them having draft and both of them having probably similar gear ratios, it's going to be interesting. Inside line there for Squid. Should be able to hold the position if he breaks around the same time as Moose. Let's see, they do, and Squid is going to hold it. Nicely done. Now, I don't know how your tires are, considering you've been going pretty quick this entire race, so it could get interesting.
Yeah, the thing is, both me and Moose have spent a very long time here running all alone on track, so we don't really know how the tires are going to react to battling. So it's kind of a blind hunting ground for both of us. Yeah,
I mean, it's nice in that regard, and it's also nice seeing the cars getting squirrely, taking some effort to control, unlike, say, modern F1. As we saw there, a little bit of a brush with the wall for Moose, and then a little brush with the wall for you. So overtaking here is possible, but not likely.
In a relevant piece of info related to this race, the timer has run out and we're officially in the final lap as Maestro crossed the start-finish line. And in a more relevant piece, well, I guess we're gonna see the time, and Gunsis is eating away at the gap, and now he's just a second behind. He can see his target. I don't know what's happening to Maestro, but he's losing the pace. Maybe he shot his tires trying to get away from Gunsis, and is now paying the price. As oh, this is not good. Get out of the way. Get into the wall. Stay there, whoever you are. That'll be Viperian. He's on the pit lane again. I don't think it cost any of the Swedes any time relating to each other. It doesn't matter about anything else because they're a minute behind the leaders. But they're gonna be going on to the final lap soon, and before the leaders go onto the part where they can overtake, in an important piece of information, the Squid head bears 8 arms and 2 tentacles. As we proceed with the race, the gap between...
No, Viperian there was doing his best New Zealand sheep impression. Just putting it... I can't finish that joke.
What is... Squid, what the fuck are you doing? That's a draft snake and a half. That's not gonna happen with just one car behind you. Side by side, Swedes go into turn 2. This is the last time they're gonna go there. Moose is just ahead, but Squid has a little bit of an overdraft. They go side by side into turn 3 for the last time this race. Who is gonna outbrake who? Squid is on the inside!
No! It all lava, but instead it went all Malmo. As we see Squid in the wall after amazing effort to get himself back up there and to capitalize on Moose's mistakes.
Well, that's this battle resolved. We have a battle for the lead, sort of 1.4 seconds between Maestro and Gunsis. Maestro in the wall, and there is Gunsis coming through, looking for a pass, almost not enough space. He's through! The Latvian is through and they're gonna head onto the final straight. There's still one straight. Maestro is right back. It's gonna be draft to the very finish line. Oh, there's Squid. Everything's gone wrong for the Squid. We don't care about him anymore as we're going towards the finish line. Side by side, Gunsis defending the inside line. Heading into the final turn. Will Maestro have anything on the Latvian? Still side by side across the finish line. No, the Latvian is gonna win the Macau Grand Prix.
Holy shit. An almost flawless race for Maestro all the way until the very end. And then, just like Russia after CIS, decided to get one last swipe in.
I want to say that was almost a flawless race for Gunsis, because he spent so much time biding his time, and then just at the end managed to capitalize on a mistake. I can't really think of any way he could have done it better.
No. What I'm saying though is Maestro almost had his flawless race in the sense of he had Gunsis covered pretty much the entire race, and then at the very end made one mistake.
In the wall.
Yep, and just blew it. Gunsis did an incredible job to stay with him. A few brushes with the wall for Gunsis, but nothing major. And it came out on top in the end, as we see a replay now of the incident between the Swedes.
No, Moose was nowhere near. Yeah.
No, that was just my mistake. And after that, my tires were just shot. I couldn't do anything.
Oh, that's... Yeah, that's a hard shot, and that's Moose just cruising to the third place after an intense battle for, well, I guess the best Swede award for Macau Grand Prix. And he gets to be on the podium. Trempel is the first one to finish a lap down in 11th position. Viperian is not going to be crossing the checkered line. He is listed as DNF. He's going to stay ahead of Rotor X2 because Rotor was 2 laps down on Viperian. And here is the other Swede. A few seconds back on his countryman, finishing in P4. We have Smartpipe and Mr. Bob kind of close to each other, 3 seconds between these two, but they're heading onto the last straight, so unless Smartpipe is gonna faceplant the wall out of the last turn, which he probably shouldn't do, considering the gap, that's gonna be all she wrote for 5th and 6th. Meanwhile, I salvage what looks like 7th position after having to pit in the middle of a race. Though I enjoyed my fresh tires.
Yeah, as everyone was spinning around you.
Yeah, there was that long period there where everyone seemed to get their shit together and just took the advantage away from your tires. And then just decided at the very end, well, now we're going to lose it.
Yeah, the tires fell off the cliff after about half an hour of race, I'm going to say. We might see another battle. Looking at the timing, Nemidas and Psychedelics are within a second of each other. They're about 10 seconds behind Neon, who we're spectating right now. There they are. If Nemidas botches the exit of a turn, let's see. Careful, careful. There we go. And yeah, Psychedelics just hits the wall for a good measure. And that's gonna be the end of the final race of the season. We're not even a year late. As
I don't even remember any of the standings before this.
Does this even matter, as we see once again the takeout between the two leaders of the race? And
Maestro, for some reason.
There probably are reasons, I don't know. Maybe he won the championship, we're gonna see it soon enough. Guntz has given him a stern look for that, and probably a laugh in his face as he got that win just, what, 4 corners before the finish line?
Yep.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a decent race, actually.
That was,
even though it was calmed down in the middle part, the beginning and the end was very exciting.
We definitely saw a lot of carnage throughout the race, that's for sure. In the middle, basically everybody was self-spinning, and then at the end, all hell broke loose.
Yep, pretty much. We're going to see the results of race number 8 at Macau. Gunsis taking the win on the last lap, as we said, from Meister Ponchik, with Holy Moose in 3rd place. Squid had a good battle and ended up in 4th after touching the wall, followed by Smart Pipe Mr. Bob, and Georgian. Neon Tiger, 8th place after an interesting race, let's say, where walls and other cars were involved, followed by Nemidas, and then Psychedelic in 10th, actually pretty good considering the amount of Audis that went flying in that race.
Definitely. The 10th place and the last on the lead lap as his teammate and fellow German Trempale is in 11th, a lap down. Also a lap down, Matt in 12th and Echo in 13th. The last classified car is Rotrix 2, 4 laps down in 14th. 3 cars not completing the required distance to be classified are Viperion 4 laps down, Ancient Molder 13 laps down, and last, and probably the least in this particular race, Powers 2 for 40, 15 laps down.
Don't you be a hiker?
Shh. As we now see the Drivers' Championship, after all the rounds, Shark A Shock Century wins again. Oh, who would have guessed that? Followed by Gunsis' strong showing, Meister Ponchik taking 3rd place in the constructors and the drivers. He's not his own constructor, not yet anyway. Mr. Bob
Hopefully never.
Trempale, Piker, Smart Pipe, Matt, myself, Agent Molder, 9th with the Holy Moose, following in 10th.
Squid, want to take it away?
Oh, shit. Jordan, 11th. 12th is Neon Tiger, followed by Psychedelics and Cervantes, who did not take part in this race. A lot of people didn't. Nemetis 15th, followed by his teammate Echo 51. Me in 17th, G-Man 19th, what the fuck, 18th. 19th is Viperion, and 20th is JK.
19-7, what the fuck? we should officially rename him. Tied for 21st is Carl PC200 and Source with 78 points each. Rotrix 2 is in 23rd. Martson somehow not last with 47 points. Behind him is Pateta Hedron in 25th. Powers 2 for 40, 34 points in 26th. Behind him Alex Nessie. Kodas, surprisingly also not last, 20 points, 18 points, Jump. And I believe last with 16 points is Incarcerate.
I think Incarcerate, if I recall, only took part in 1 race, something like that. As we see the team championship, now we're in the constructors. J&J Motorsport against Shock in 1st place, followed by Gauchi Gunses. Bentley Motorsport take 3rd place in front of Audi Motorsport. They actually know how to spell motorsport. Followed by Apex Predator Racing, Backmarkers Racing, Aids of Baguette, Raspberries Racing, Blue Flag, Blue Flag is Sebastian, yeah, with a finger, and Calamari and Chips.
And in 11th, we have Team Rainbow Girls, which isn't a team, it's just Moose. Followed by MRT, Collage Racing, Independent Republic of Alpacas, and Team Shrug.
And like their name would suggest, it seems like Team Shrug didn't give a fuck.
You can see as you go down the order of the teams how serious each team took this series. As you go from
Audi Motorsports,
you know, J&J Motorsports, Audi Motorsports, to Team Shrug and Independent Republic of Alpacas. Well, that was one hell of a season, and I didn't take long to have the intro. Bye!